I'm Gary McAtamney and this is Copper Fitness. So in the next 12 weeks we are going to run a couple of guys in the gym here through a fat loss challenge. So Paddy is one of the guys that's doing a 12-week program, and Paddy, just share your thoughts. First of all, why is it that you took part and signed up for this 12-week fat loss challenge?
Well, I've been a member, obviously, as you know now, for almost 2 years, a year and sort of 8 or 10 months now. My strength, I'm stronger than I've ever been, and my strength is exactly where I wanted to be. I'm more than happy with my strength, but I suppose with that muscle mass gain, there's weight gain too. I'd like to cut down. I have a cruise of a summer holiday booked at the end of July, and I'd like to obviously look good for that.
Yeah.
I have a pile of weddings and stag do's and stuff this year. I'd like to look good for all the social events, but obviously with all those events comes a pile of eating and drinking and stuff, and I'd like to not gain weight this year and try and make the effort all worth it. But I really just did, to look good and try and get the weight back down again.
When Paddy started the gym, he had different goals. One was to get really, really strong, to get really fit, and to basically get really good, sustainable habits that we could work around your work life, your social life, and things like that. So Paddy is reasonably comfortable in the gym now. He knows what he's doing every day, and he knows most of the clients in here, so he's very, very comfortable. But doing this challenge puts him back out of that comfort zone again. And you want to share a few thoughts around that, Paddy?
Like you say, I know everybody in here really well. Some very good friends in here, training 4 or 5 days a week, pretty much every week now, and I really enjoy it. I'm just ready to try something new.
But you do get to the point where you've hit PBs, you've got really strong, you've put on a lot of muscle and stuff, and now it's a new challenge.
All my compound lifts, bench, deadlift, squat, and all that are all really good. And I focused on different things, focused on getting weights up and hitting PBs, and I focused on mobility for a while, getting deeper squats, stuff like that. And then at a while we were cut back in weight, and I had shoulder pain and knee pain and stuff like that, and I was working through that. But I'm at the point now I'm ready for a new challenge. I've done loads of 6 and 8 week cuts, as you know, but this is the first time I've done a 12-week one, and sort of welcome the longer challenge. It's an extra month beyond the longest cut I've done. So the biggest challenge now, as you say, Paddy, coming to the gym is Paddy's easy, but you can come in and lift the weights and shows up every day. So what's the hardest bit for you with this new challenge? Oh, the eating. The eating, hands down. It's easy to come in and train. It's an hour and a bit every day, and you come in, you get through the motions. You work hard, you do your bit, but then when you go home, it's easy when you're bulking or lifting heavy weights to go home and eat a load of protein and a pile of big dinners and stuff, and it's class. But the hardest part for me, I can train no problem. It's just managing the eating. It's trying to get as much protein in. Obviously not going mad in the carbs and fats and stuff, and trying to manage the calories. But for me, eating's definitely the hardest part.
That totally makes sense what you said there. That's the things that even I struggle with as well. Is that eating when you know you should be and not eating, the comfort eating at home, and it's always the easy option to do that because. Again, for most people like yourselves as well, that's the bigger challenge as well. Going to the gym is the easier bit for us.
Yeah.
It is going home and holding them higher standards to say no sometimes to the junk food and things like that, and that would probably be the biggest challenge from here on in.
What's really hard for me is because your training's about an hour and a bit every day, but your eating makes up from obviously you get up in the morning till you go to bed at night, you've maybe a 16-hour period, a 17-hour period where you're thinking about eating, or you're snacking through work, or maybe something before the gym, or you get your dinner when you come home from, or snack before you go to bed. And the training period's like a small window of your day where you've so much more time to worry about eating and focus on it, and it just takes a lot of discipline and a lot of just willpower for me. But I always liked eating, so it's definitely a problem for me.
So how will you feel in the 12 weeks time knowing that you stuck to this? How will you feel if you got the body fat off that you wanted?
I feel brilliant. Like, you know, I've always been, you know, like a bigger fella. I've been north of 100 kilo for probably 5 or 6 years anyway. And that's what's keeping me going. That's my motivation. Like, it's the first time I've sat down and I've decided to completely dedicate myself to this. And I look forward, you know, how I feel or how I'll look at the end of it. That's my motivation. That's the end goal. It's that positive thinking, you know, to the end of it. But I'm really excited to get to the end of it. You know, not to have it done, but to see ideally the progress, or, you know, all being well, the good progress I make. But now I have full intentions of seeing it out, you know, and sticking to it.
Why aren't you going alone? Why aren't you doing it by yourself? Because you could easily do it by yourself.
I could do it on my own, but doing it on your own is very difficult. You know, when you're isolated, you're coming in, and people in the gym are maybe in different programs. People are maybe different, you know, goals too. But to be in a community where everybody has, you know, the same or similar end goal, everybody's supporting each other, carrying each other. You have encouragement from everybody, you know, and even, you know, not just members, but people coming in, you know, new faces coming in to join the program, and it's just encouraging and it's helpful and it pushes you on, and you don't want to fail because you don't want to introduce that, you know, attitude into the gym that, you know, it's all right to slack off, or, you know. So, you know, like-minded people are very encouraging, they're really helpful. It's motivation, it keeps you going, it keeps you on track, it keeps you honest.
What do you think will stop you from reaching this goal?
Personally, I don't intend for anything to stop me. You know, we've had fairly detailed conversations a number of times. We have a plan. I have, you know, of my protein goals. I have calories. We have a training program in place. God willing, to stay injury free and can train, you know, the whole way through it, and there's no setbacks. But other than that, you know, I don't intend to have any setbacks. I don't intend to fall off the rails. It's going to be 12 long weeks. But
do you think there's anything could get in the way to disrupt that?
This year, the social events are probably the only thing, you know, because they're obviously planned and scheduled. We have, you know, a number of weddings, a number of stag do's this year. And they all obviously come with a lot of drink and food and bad habits creeping, and, you know. But
how do you plan to work around that?
My plan will be, I'll up the sessions. You know, if I have a wedding on a Friday or Saturday, I'll, instead of sitting at 2,300 calories, maybe get into 2,000, and I'll save a couple of hundred calories every day, and that might buy me a day at the weekend, or cut down the calories, try and train a wee bit extra, you know, get another session in, or, you know, a bit more activity. But just, obviously they're life events, you can't avoid them, you can't run away from them, and obviously you want to go and enjoy them, and, you know, a fat loss program shouldn't take priority over a friend's wedding or something like that, so definitely go and enjoy them, but, you know, try and work around them as best I can, limit the damage, and get back on, you know, as soon as Monday comes, then straight back at it, get the diet back on, get the gym program in again.
So Paddy, if you don't mind sharing with everybody, what is your weight at the minute?
My last weigh in a few days ago was 109.7 kilos.
So we're just shy of 110 kg, yeah. And as you can see, here's Paddy's pictures at the minute, and this is part one of a 4 or 5 part series. So stay tuned and keep an eye for Paddy's and seeing progress. So here we have another client that is going to take on our 12-week challenge. Darren, how do you feel about it?
All right. Gary, you know yourself, I've been through fucking numerous weight loss fucking journeys. Go to the gym, go on a diet, lose weight, put it back on. You know, so this time here, I did want to do it. Obviously got married, you know that, you're the best man at the wedding. But obviously I wanted to lose that weight beforehand. Now, we had a lot of things on, like, you know, stuff always gets in the way, it always seems to be, and then I fall off track massively, and it just fucking really sets me back. Apologies for cursing, but it just really sets me back, you know. But this time here in this 12-week program, I really want to stick to it, because now I have a break for 15 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't even want to just do it just solely for a 12-week program. This is the Kickstarter. Do you know what I mean? This is the Kickstarter to get me into shape, and then it's maintaining. Do you know what I mean? And constantly just maintaining throughout, you know. So that's what I'm looking at this 12-week program, you know. And I really am adamant that this is the time, especially now that we're documented, you know, from start to finish, you know. So there's no hiding. Do you know what I mean?
What's your, like, how much does this mean to you?
It would mean a lot. Do you know what I mean? Because see, at the minute, you know, and I have been speaking to you about this before. It's not only just about getting into shape. It's about getting into a better headspace.
It's so much more, isn't it?
It's so much more, you know. And I really like, up until more or less get married there, I wouldn't say I was really bad, but I did notice my mental health had a really like, bad effect. You know, I just seemed to be working all the time, not really, and then at the weekends it was either drinking, do you know what I mean, or I was just laying about the house eating chippies and stuff like that, and I really felt like I was missing something. I contacted you and I was like, Gary, I think like I really need to get back and doing something, you know, and I really need to give myself a push, you know, to be that better person. So it means more than just losing weight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people need to understand that as well. You know, a lot of people are unhappy with their weight and they're unhappy with a lot of things in life. And it's so, like, it's such a de-stressor, you know, it's such a thing that can really lift your mood. You know, like, cause even when I've only just started going back to the gym, do you know what I mean? And we're only starting this 12-week cut as of today, you know, but it really lifted my mood. It made getting up and going to work easier in the morning, do you know what I mean? And just day-to-day life, you know, so it does. It means more than just losing weight.
Yeah, so like, and I think a lot of you can relate, especially, you know, when you get yourself in them bad places, how hard it can be to get back in. But you just said there, you've only started back at the gym again, and you're really starting to feel, you're climbing up that ladder again, starting to feel better and move better. And this 12 week, as much as it is a fat loss challenge, it's so much more than fat loss. You know, it means so much more, especially mentally, to get yourself into better ways, because when you're exercising, you know, you're more mentally clear, and you can focus a lot better, you can accelerate a lot better outside the gym, which is more important as well. 100%. And again, you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people who you can share things with and help you with any challenges that come your way.
Yeah.
And if these 12 weeks were successful and you ticked every box you wanted to tick, in your head, how would you feel?
I would feel happy, because for once in a very long time, I actually stayed consistent and disciplined to do so, you know, and I think that is something I really lacked, do you know what I mean? In nearly every aspect of life, you know, it was just, I would feel accomplished in that sense, do you know what I mean? And yes, obviously, we're there to lose fat and we're there to lose weight and stuff like that, and that is, like, that is a big factor of it. You know, but I would feel good. You know, I'd really feel good. Of course I would. Do you know what I mean? If I had hit my targets, if I hit my goals by the end of the 12 weeks, I was at where I wanted to be. You know, I know it would have a snowball effect. Do you know what I mean? Where everything in life would start working into place. You know, because I have been there before. I have went through programs and been successful, but there's been a lot of failures too. A lot of dropping off early. You know, you've seen that yourself, Gary. You know, you've seen that in me too.
So why did you choose this 12-week program? It's not just because we're friends. You're like, you fucking friends. It's like,
you fucking asked me to.
He's fucking paying me to. Right? Or how come you have reached out and chose this program?
I chose this program because, as I say, Gary, I've been around. I've tried different programs, whether it be my own or other gyms or whatever it may be. I like this one. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just because you're my best friend. The community here is good. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people here I know that go here, and I've known them from previously before. It's very welcoming. Do you know what I mean? And everybody seems to be on the same sort of level. Do you know? It's not like some people look at you and you're like, what are you doing here? Or make you feel out of place.
You don't feel intimidated.
No, you don't feel intimidated. You know, like me, I'm not a thin lad. You know, I look and feel out of place walking in the gym. You know, and see when it actually comes to like being in front of people and sweating and doing box jumps and all, especially in front of girls, I do feel embarrassed. Like, I'm not joking, I really do. But I've never been to a gym where I actually feel like there's nobody looking at me. You know, nobody, whereas before in other gyms it feels like people have eyes on you, people stare, you know, and I think a lot of people have that fear too coming in the gyms, you know, but this one here, no, you know, and I've been around fucking plenty, do you know what I mean?
No, but that is one thing, I can totally relate to that. Even if I was to step into a new gym, it's very uncomfortable, and that's one thing that that we do take pride in here is making you feel as comfortable as you can, because everybody's got their own stuff going on, and everybody is focused on them. And that's the whole idea of especially the small group personal training in this program is we tailor it to you. So Darren, we're just about to get started, and we've got Darren's photos just right here. And if you don't mind sharing, what is your starting weight?
My starting weight is, you weighed me this evening, I think it was 256 pounds.
Yeah. I'm
not too sure what that is in stones or kg, but it's pretty fucking heavy. But anyway, so that is my starting weight.
But that's just a start to this video. We're going to record Darren's progress throughout and keep weighing out, and we're going to show you the progress and the challenges he faces and how he overcomes them, and we'll go from there.